Miami! To mission control, we have liftoff. Phinhub! Phinhub! We talking Dolphins City! Phinhub, Phinhub! Yeah! It's that Dolphins show! Phinhub!
Welcome to the Phinhub Show, the one NFL podcast you can't leave off your roster. Now here's your host, Joey and Kevin Tejido.
All right, welcome into another episode of the Phinhub Show, powered by BetUS. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure to check out BetUS and use code YouTube150 for a 150% bonus on your first deposit for up to $2,000. Plenty of props to bet on. The Dolphins are back in action this weekend, going up against the Indianapolis Colts. It looks like we're going to be playing Richardson over Flacco. So I'm liking the Dolphins in this one early on. But either way, we'll get into it. Make sure to check out BetUS and use code YouTube150 for a 150% bonus on your first deposit for up to $2,000. All right, so let's kick off the show with some really big news. This week, the Bills and the Jets made some pretty drastic moves to their wide receivers. The Bills go and get Amari Cooper, and the Jets go and get Devonta Adams. Two really good receivers, definitely crowding up that AFC East wide receiver room for the top spot. I still have the Dolphins with the best wide receiver duo, but the Bills and the Jets made some pretty big moves. What do you think about that?
I think the Bills definitely needed to make a move. Their wide receivers are just it's not really great over there. But yeah, I think getting a guy like Amari Cooper, great route runner, awesome hands. I think he's going to be great for Josh Allen, kind of like the same kind of deal that they did with Stephon Diggs. I feel like when Stephon Diggs got there, he was kind of somewhat a guy that was up and coming, but, you know, he really solidified himself as a star going into the Bills. But, you know, with Amari Cooper, this is a guy that's 31 years old, already has had his time in the NFL, but, you know, I think he's going to be a great weapon for Josh Allen and someone that he can actually rely on in that wide receiving corps because, I mean, all they really have is tight ends over there, you know what I'm saying? Like Kincaid and Knox. Yeah. So I think it's a great move for them. Kind of sucks that they got him right before they're about to play us. But, you know, at the end of the day, you got to beat teams at their best. And the only way we're going to get anywhere is if we can beat the Bills at their best.
Yeah, I agree. And then going on to the Jets, the move for Davante Adams I thought was a really good one. I think it brings some familiarity with Aaron Rodgers there, obviously. But I don't think it's going to be enough to really make that much of a difference for New York. They seem like to be pretty messy when it comes to anywhere really on that team. The Jets just have this kind of losing culture, and I don't think it really matters who you bring in. For whatever reason, they just don't have it. And Davante Adams, a 32-year-old wide receiver, we've seen the best of what he could do. And maybe they proved me wrong in New York, but I don't see it really moving the needle much for the New York Jets. And I think they're going to end up being the third best team in the AFC East, and I think they're going to miss the playoffs again.
Yeah, what I would want to know is coming this Sunday, if they lose, what do they do from there? I mean, they're going to be 2-5. They made basically a move for an aging wide receiver. This is just basically, it seems like it's Aaron Rodgers' team. He's making all the decisions. He's basically pulling all the strings over there, and this is a guy that's a 1 or 2 year rental for your franchise. So you're definitely it's definitely like hampering, is that the word? Mm-hmm. Or hindering? I guess hindering your team for the foreseeable future. I mean, you're investing this next year or two into adding resources for a guy that's not going to be on your team after 4 years, right? Let's say he's got another 1 or 2 years left. They're going to be another dumpster fire, another shit show for another 5-10 years. I'm not worried about them. Like you said, I don't think this really moves the needle. But, I mean, they did show some signs of improvement against the Bills last week. And, I don't know, let's see what they can do.
Yeah, Devonta Adams, I think, is also pushing for an extension, too. He wants a few years on his contract. So that'll be interesting what the Jets do with him there. And, yeah, definitely the wide receivers in the AFC East are pretty dominant. In fact, Tyreek Hill had something to say. Here's what he had to say about that.
They still not the best receiver in the league, because I am. And I stand on that. Go ahead. Yeah, that's it. That's who we want it. I want my mama to send me this and say, yo, you talking your trash today, because I am, man. Nah, I'm definitely happy for, Devonta, man. Teaming back up, with his old quarterback. I know that's obviously, where he wanted to be. And for Amari, I think him and Josh Allen, those two guys will play very well together, because Amari is still like one of those guys that can get open, so it's going to be like a good test, man, for our DBs whenever we play them. But we got Jalen Ramsey on our team. He's great.
Now, we've also gotten some more news and clarity on what's going on with Tua Tagovailoa. I think it's definitely important that he does return for the season. I know there's a lot of back and forth between fans, and he's a very polarizing figure for whatever reason. You either love him or hate him. You either want him to play out as a Miami Dolphins legend for the rest of his life, or he's like, you need to retire immediately. It's pretty crazy with Tua. The fan base is so split on him. But, reality is that Tua is healthy. He has been healthy for what seems like a few weeks. He's not showing any lingering effects of a concussion. He's and McDaniel has reported on that. McDaniel's spoken about it, and Cameron Wolfe has spoken about it also. In fact, here's what Cameron Wolfe had to say.
Tua Tagovailoa definitely is going to play football this season, and it could be as early as next week when he's eligible to return off of injured reserve. The Dolphins are being cautious with his process. He still hasn't cleared concussion protocol. They stopped that process when they put him on injured reserve. But from what I've been told, he is symptom-free, and he's been symptom-free for several weeks now. And so he's been functioning as normal within the team, been inside the locker room, been around his teammates, and talking to some of his teammates. They expect him to be back sooner than later. So I definitely circle that game next week against the Arizona Cardinals, and that being the first potential time we could see Tua back on the field. I wouldn't expect to hear any further updates from the Dolphins this week. They're planning to start Snoop Huntley this week against the Indianapolis Colts, and so their focus is on that. But then as we turn around next week for Arizona, then we start to see if Tua can clear and potentially return to the field for that Arizona game. It would be about 6 weeks from that last concussion, and he's talked to doctors, and no one has told him that he shouldn't or can't return to play. One good news for the Dolphins, though, they should get Devon Achan back from the concussion protocol. I watched him in practice today. He was a full participant, and everything's progressing well for him to be good to go on Sunday.
So, yeah, some pretty positive news on Tua Tagovailoa, and he also did mention Devon Achan coming back from that concussion. So it looks like the Dolphins will have him for the game against the Colts. And that's obviously going to help out the run game a little bit more. We have a little bit more playmaking with that involved as well. And I think we're going to need it going up against this Colts team. I'm hoping that the Dolphins do face Richardson, because I think he's going to also help us out. Yeah. And I think, what was he? The lowest rated quarterback in the NFL, like you were saying before this.
Yeah, going into last week's game, Joe Flacco was rated the highest. He was the highest graded quarterback in the NFL, and Anthony Richardson was the lowest graded quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, so we're definitely rooting for Anthony Richardson to be in the starting lineup once for this weekend. But going back to Tua, it looks like we will have him. All signs are pointing to him returning in Week 8 against the Cardinals.
Just going off of the crumbs that McDaniel's left, offensive coordinator Frank Smith. Also, Cameron Wolfe, the media can only report what the team's giving them. But, all signs are leading to Tua playing that game, coming back and instantly being implemented into the starting lineup again. Frank Smith even said something earlier today about, once the team is whole again, I'm just kind of getting it, like the gist of it. Once the team is whole again, that it's going to open up the playbook and things are going to be a lot more exciting. He also commented on the fact that, going into the bye week, they wanted to find a way to get Jonnu Smith more involved, which I think it's beautiful. We saw last game, Jonnu Smith had a bigger role in the offense, and it was a lot. The product on the field was a lot better than we've seen in previous weeks. So I think there's a lot of positive things going on around the Dolphins, and I think, there's a lot of optimism coming into this game and, actually getting out of this game as well.
Yeah, so definitely some great signs from everyone regarding Tua. And here's what McDaniel had to say about him most recently.
Well, I think they've continued to be positive. There's still information that he's seeking this week, and as far as timelines go, I know he's not playing this week, and I do expect to see him playing football in 2024. But where that is exactly, we'll let the process continue, since we still have time before he even could entertain anything. So we'll make sure that he's diligent this week and assess after that. Nothing has changed from Monday with Tua. The process will go, as you have to allow days to progress for evaluation of how those, where you're at, and to have a proper assessment. So feel good about him, the experts and family and everybody that's been involved. It's been very diligent, and when the next step occurs,
So it doesn't look like we're going to get much more clarity, but still everything seems to be pointing up.
Yeah, there's no question about him coming back. He's far enough removed from that injury. All signs point to, doctors saying that he's good to go, that they don't see a reason for him to retire. I know there's a lot of fans that don't want him back, for good reasons and obviously their own agenda. But at the end of the day, it looks like Tua's our quarterback, and, better days are on the horizon. So, but there are some implications coming into this Colts game this week, this Sunday. So today the Broncos are going to be playing the Saints. They're actually one game ahead of us in the standings. So if they are to lose and we beat the Colts this Sunday, we would technically be a wild card team right now if the season ended, right? That's kind of crazy. We're going back 3 weeks ago, and the sky was falling. Everything was like basically crap. But it's crazy to be in this position now. Right after this Sunday, we're kind of just back. We have OBJ back. We have Tua back. We have a healthier team, hopefully. It looks like Jevon Holland might be able to be ready to go. So if we put this clip up here of Anthony Weaver, he'll give us a little update on that situation.
I think that kid, I'm not saying he can't do anything. So if I was going to count on anybody to get out there and play, it would be him. But we're preparing for both situations.
In regards to when you have a safety with something on their hand, do you look at them as, hey, the opposition might go after them just because they have some limitations?
Well, unfortunately, we've had 3. So I think our safeties are taking like boxing classes in their off time or something like that. But we've had a situation with Poyer. He did something to his hand in training camp, as well as Marcus May. And both those guys to this point have played excellent when they've been out there. So regardless of whether he has something on his hand or not, I think he'll be able to go out there and do his job.
So yeah, having Jevon Holland back, this was something that we thought we weren't going to have maybe for a couple weeks, a month, the foreseeable future. I think it's important. I think it's something that we definitely need with Jalen Phillips going down. Bradley Chubb still not back off of injured reserve. Now with Ogba being a little banged up, questionable to play. The bright spot has been the defense so far, and I think it's nice to have these guys coming into the game. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's important that Jevon Holland plays for us. We've lost so many key players on defense already. So to have another one go down, even if he's not at full speed, I still think it helps out our team.
Yeah.
We need that cohesion, and he provides that. He's a leader on that unit, and he's the best player on that unit. Whether he's in a club or not, he's still that guy for us. I know he hasn't had the best season by his standards, and what we've come to expect from Jevon Holland as a Miami Dolphin. He's been outstanding since he's been here. This year hasn't been his best season to start, but there's still plenty of season left, and it's a contract year for him. So it's important that he goes out there and continues to battle through those injuries and get the job done for us on defense. He's a great player, and I think he's going to step up to the challenge and be ready for us this weekend.
Yeah, no question about that. And it looks like we might also have Jordan Poyer back. That's a possibility as well. So getting some guys back in, and it should be a good thing for us this Sunday.
Yeah, so things are looking up for the Dolphins overall. Still plenty of season left, so strap up, guys, because it's going to be an interesting ride here. We don't know what the future holds, but hey, anything can happen in this league, and no matter what, we are win or lose.
Yeah,
we're bleeding aqua and orange. So
let's ruin that guy's day, right? On Sunday.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah. Let's go out and get it. I wonder if he's going to be coming out with a Dolphins song.
I would imagine. I kind of don't even want to hear it, though.
I want to hear it. I got to hear it. But anyway, that's going to do it for today, guys. If you haven't already, make sure to check out BetUS and use code YouTube150 for 150% bonus on your first deposit for up to $2,000. That's YouTube150 for 150% bonus. All right, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Fins up.